What's good with the fight fans? It's your boy Kijana back with some fight predictions. I'm getting them out extra early for you guys. A few weeks. I'm going to be pretty busy the next 2 weeks, so I'm not going to be able to do them. But I might do an updated video after the weigh-ins and just give a few thoughts. I don't know yet. UFC 246, McGregor versus Cowboy. This is gonna be it's gonna be a good card, man. It's gonna be a banger. The only thing is, I don't know if it's gonna fucking follow through. Something's telling me that the main event's not gonna happen. McGregor's gonna pull out, or I don't see Cerrone pulling out. So I mean, yeah, my gut's just telling me that this fight's not gonna happen. So I'm going to stick with my gut, but I'm going to go straight into the early prelims. I think there's 13 fights on this one. Sabino Mazo versus J.J. Aldridge. Colombian Queen, 7-1 record, 2 KO/TKOs, 1 decision loss. She got pieced up pretty fucking bad versus Myra Morris on her debut. But I feel like that fight was kind of fluky just because she's new. She's super new. That was her first fight. I think the nerves got to her because I've seen her highlights and she's not a bad fighter. She's got decent striking. She usually uses her range pretty well, and she's pretty tall for the division. So I picked her to beat Myra Morris on that one, and she just she didn't show up that night. She was definitely nervous. You could tell just from the bright lights and all the people. But she's coming off of a win versus Shanna Dobson in her last fight, and she looked pretty good in that fight. She's fighting a tough opponent, though. J.J. Aldridge, 8-3 record, 2 KO/TKOs, 1 KO loss, 1 sub loss. She lost to Macy Barber by TKO. The pressure of Macy Barber is just too much for these bitches to handle, dude. She's been fucking chicks up, dude. I'm a fan. I'm definitely a fan. Macy Barber looked great in that fight versus J.J. Aldridge. J.J. Aldridge just... It's funny because J.J. is usually the pressure fighter, but Macy wasn't having it. So, yeah, there was nothing really she could do. J.J. is kind of a stiff fighter. She's somewhat flat-footed. Actually, not somewhat. She is flat-footed. She's very durable, though. She can usually eat a punch. She ate a few punches from Macy, and she couldn't eat anymore. She usually wins by decision. She won her last fight by decision to Lauren Mueller. And it was a pretty decent performance considering that she came off of that vicious TKO loss to Macy Barber. I'm going to roll with J.J. Aldridge. I feel like she actually could get inside the range of Sabino Mazo and probably piece her up. JJ is known for her volume. She usually strikes a lot. And Sabino Mazo, I mean, she's decent. They're both pretty good fighters for the division. I can't hate on either of them. But yeah, I'm going to roll with JJ Aldridge on this one. Next fight, Brian Kelleher versus Ode Osborne. The oddity, Ode Osborne, 6-2 record, 2 KO/TKOs, 3 sub wins, 1 sub loss. He's 27 years old. He's making his debut. I don't know much about the guy. I think he's a teacher or whatever, middle school, high school, elementary. He's some kind of teacher or some shit. I've seen it in an interview. Yeah, he's got long arms. He's a strategic counter striker. And he has really good submission game off of his back. It's smooth, man. He's very slick with it. Yeah, the dude's pretty fucking good with his arm bars and his triangle chokes from his back. Brian Kelleher, aka Boom, 19-10 record, 7 KO/TKOs, 8 sub wins, 1 KO loss, 6 sub losses. His only KO loss was to John Lineker, and that's not a bad loss to have because Lineker, we know what this guy can do, man. He'll put anybody to sleep. He'll put some heavyweights to sleep, dude. John Lineker, hands of stone. They don't call him that for no reason. That guy hits hard. He's super durable, and he pressures the shit out of his opponents. And he was pressuring Brian the whole entire fight. And leading up to the third round, he just got caught with it. Caught with that right, man. But yeah, he has 6 sub losses, which is kind of worrisome considering Osborne seems pretty legit on the ground. And he's lost by all types of submissions: arm bars, guillotine chokes, triangle chokes, Bravo choke. But this dude is a durable fighter. He's got decent cardio. He's got good fight experience. I mean, shit, 29 fights. That's a lot, MMA-wise. And he's wiry. He hits pretty hard for the 135-pound division. His overhand right is pretty nasty. He's got good inside leg kicks. And his grounded pound's pretty decent as well. But I'm going to roll with the newbie, man. I'm rolling with the new guy. I'm rolling with Ode Osborne, the oddity. I like that. That nickname. It's pretty dope. All right, I'm rolling with him. Next fight, Tim Elliott, ranked 7. Oscar Oskarov, ranked 12 already. That's insane. Tim Elliott, 15-9 record, 3 KO/TKO, 6 sub wins, 1 KO loss, 4 sub losses. Lost last fight to Diego Figueiredo by guillotine choke. And that was his first fight back since 2017 when he had beaten De La Rosa. This guy's a pretty tricky submission game. He's got average striking. He's got a really good wrestling background. Honestly, I might be a little biased for this fight because I'm not really a fan of Tim Elliott. He's just kind of boring for me to watch. Most people will probably disagree. Some people probably like Tim Elliott out there, but I'm just not a fan of this guy. He's been in the UFC for a while, and he really hasn't showed much. So, yeah, I mean, Oscarov, the Bullet, 10-0 record, 3 KO/TKO, 7 sub wins, all finishes. He went to a draw with Brandon Moreno, which I felt like that should have been his first loss. Brandon Moreno definitely should have won that fight. He had two out of the 3 rounds, in my own opinion, and a lot of people scored it that way. So yeah, technically I feel like he should have a loss on his record. That was bullshit, but you can't leave it to the judges. He gets plenty of takedowns, but the thing about getting so many takedowns, it just shows that you can't keep your opponent on the ground. Your top pressure is lacking somewhere. Because he gets a lot of takedowns in all of his fights, and all of his fights are 3-round fights. He hasn't been to a championship fight, so I could see you getting like maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 takedowns in a championship fight if it goes the distance. But if you're doing 3-round fights and you're getting 6, 7, 8 takedowns, I mean that's a lot of fucking takedowns, wasting a lot of energy getting your opponent to the ground and then popping right back up. But then again, he looked great in the Brandon Moreno fight, man. He didn't even really look that gassed. He had pretty good cardio. I'm rolling with Oscarov on this one. I can't roll with Tim Elliott. I don't know why. I'm a little biased. If you feel like Tim Elliott's going to win, pick that motherfucker. Win yourself some money. And don't blame me if you don't win any money and you go with my picks. Because it is what it is, man. Like Max Holloway says, it is what it is. It's gambling for you. All right. Next fight, Alexa Kamur versus Justin Ledet. Where is my fucking notes on this dude? Oh, yeah, right here. Alexa Kamur, 5-0 record. All KO/TKOs. He's coming off of a flying knee TKO win on Dana White Contender Series. Very heavy-handed striker, dude. From all the clips I've seen on YouTube, this guy hits fucking hard, man. You can just tell by the way the people get wobbled and by the way they fucking fall down when this dude hits them. Like he's heavy-handed, man. This guy hits pretty fucking hard. He stalks all of his opponents and he's really good at cutting the cage off, man. Some people, they chase their opponents, but this guy, like, for being as new as he is, he cuts the cage off so well, and he's explosive and wiry, and I could see him knocking Justin Ledet out in this fight. Justin Ledet, El Blanco, 9-2 record, 2 KO/TKOs, 5 sub wins, 1 KO loss. Lost his last 2 fights to Alexander Rakic and Johnny Walker. Didn't see much in the Johnny Walker fight and didn't see much in really the Alexander Rakic fight. I mean, they both dominated him. But this guy has good cardio. He's got fundamental boxing. He sticks to the fundamentals with his boxing. He's got quick jabs and he's got hard right crosses. He's a tall fighter and he uses his range very well. So, I mean, I don't know too much about Justin Ledet's background. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he has a boxing background because I've seen some boxing highlights of him. But he's fighting a new hungry guy, man, that's trying to make a name for himself. So I'm going to roll with Alexa Kamur. I think he's only 6 foot. Justin Ledet's 6'4", and Justin Ledet's pretty good at getting people in guillotine chokes too, using that height. I'm gonna roll with the new guy on this one, man. I'm rolling with the newbies on this card, man. I don't know why, but something's telling me to pick him, so I'm gonna roll with him. Probably that might either be a knockout or a decision. I don't really see a submission victory on that one for either guy, but I mean, it could happen, man. It definitely could happen. Next fight, Chaz Skelly versus Grant Dawson. Chaz, the scrapper, Skelly, 18-4 record, 3 KO/TKOs, 10 sub wins, 1 TKO loss, 1 sub loss. He's won his last fight to Jordan Griffin in a pretty tough fight, and he lost his previous 2 fights to Bobby Moffett and Jason Knight. Very tricky sub game. He's very long. His arms are fucking long as fuck. He's got a weird body type for the division. Tends to gas in some of his fights. He's a gritty fighter. But his stand-up has always lacked. He's more of a submission specialist. He's got decent stand-up for considering he's a submission specialist. But, I mean, Mirsad Bektic, he exposed him with his stand-up on his debut. That was a while ago. Chad Skelly's improved a lot. His defensive boxing is pretty good, and his counter-striking is pretty good. He mainly has jabs and crosses and a few uppercuts in his arsenal. He doesn't throw too many kicks, and he goes for desperate takedowns when he's getting fucked up on the feet. So I could see him getting fucked up by Grant Dawson and trying to go for a takedown and getting a submission, and Grant Dawson countering him, and then getting a submission or a ground and pound on Chad Skelly and finishing it. Yeah, I could definitely see that happen. Grant, the Prophet Dawson, 14-1 record, 3 KO/TKOs, 10 sub wins, 1 TKO loss. He outworks all of his opponents. This guy's a grinder, man. He's gritty. I like this dude a lot. Looks better after each one of his fights. He's got good cardio. He's relentless with his takedowns and his top pressure. Very good double leg and single legs as well. Uses his ground and pound. Basically until you make a mistake, and then he'll submit you. So his ground and pound's kind of like, it's like a trap. He lures you in with the ground and pound. You can't take any more ground and pound, and then you open yourself up for a guillotine choke, or you open yourself up for any kind of submission. And this guy, he has 10 sub wins, and he does this to a lot of his opponents. So I could definitely see that happening to Chad Skelly. But Chad Skelly is he's an elite ground opponent. Like, he's an elite submission specialist. So I mean, this is going to be an interesting fight. Maybe they'll just, a lot of submission specialists or wrestlers, they end up just standing up and fighting and and just striking with each other. So I could see that happening. But I'm going to roll Grant Dawson on this one, man. This guy does throw looping punches, and he leaves his chin very high in most of his fights. He's very hittable. But he's probably not going to get hit too much from Chad Skelly. I just don't see that happen. If he's going against somebody that's a really good boxer, then I could see that definitely happening. All right, we're going into the prelims. Drew Dober versus Nasrat Haqparast. Okay, this is a new one because I didn't write any notes on this one. I didn't even know these guys were fighting on this card. This must be added on or something. I don't remember seeing this on the UFC website. So I don't know their records or none of that shit by heart. But I'm going to roll with Nasrat Haqparast. This guy's had some great performances in the UFC. So is Drew Dober. But I feel like Haqparast is striking, man. This guy, he's good. He's good everywhere. He's a well-rounded fighter. Drew Dober's pretty well-rounded as well. But I could definitely see Haqparast getting the dub on that one. All right, next fight. What is it? Andre Touchy Feely versus Sadiq Yusuf. Super Sadiq. All right, Touchy, 20-6 record, 9 KO/TKOs, 3 sub wins, 2 KO/TKO losses, 2 sub losses. He won 4 of his last 5 fights. KO'd Shaman Moraes. It was a beautiful KO, man. Literally, it was just a really good performance, man. Andre Feely looks better in every one of his fights, dude. He really does. Even when he loses, he still looks like he's gotten better. So, yeah, he made light work of Miles Jury. I picked Miles Jury. I've been a fan of Miles Jury for a long time. And sometimes being a fan of people when you're trying to gamble or trying to make decisions on who's going to win is not the best thing, because just because you're a fan don't mean that they're going to win. So, I mean, yeah, this guy has fast twitch muscle. He's very quick with his jabs. He's explosive. He's a hard hitter. He hits hard, man. This dude hits hard. He may seem bony as fuck and skinny and has a weird, lengthy body type, but he'll piece you up, man. He hits fucking hard. I can tell. And he's got really good fundamentals. He's got nice leg kicks, good head kicks. His last KO loss was to Yair Rodriguez by head kick in 2016, which is, I mean, shit happens. Yair Rodriguez is legit, man. That guy has a lot of kicks, a lot of different things in his arsenal, and anybody could get caught with that. So, yeah, he's improved tremendously over the years. He's got good takedown defense, and he's got pretty good submission skills and wrestling as well. So he's fighting a dude that's 10-1 though. Super Sadiq Yusuf, 10-1 record, 6 KO/TKO wins, 1 KO loss to Luis Gomez, which was a fluke. He was beating Luis Gomez in Titan FC. He's on a 4-fight win streak in the UFC. He's well-rounded. He's patient. He's a strategic counter fighter, and he packs a punch, man. This guy fucking packs a punch. Very good boxing defense and head movement. This is a really tough fight for me to call. I put a question mark by this one just because I don't really know who to pick. Something's telling me to pick Super Sadiq, but the fan in me is telling me to pick Andre Feely, man. Especially he's repping Cali, man. I'm from Cali, so it's like I kind of want to roll with the Cali people, man. Yeah, man. I think I'm gonna roll with Sadiq Yusuf though. I'll roll with Sadiq. Something's telling me to pick Andre Fili. I should just roll with my gut. Every time I go against my gut, I fucking lose. So, but I'm gonna go against my gut on that one. I'm gonna roll with Sadiq Yusuf. Next fight. Oh man, this is not good. This is not a good one. Roxanne Modafferi versus Macy Barber. I feel sorry for Roxanne. I don't know why they would do her like this, man. I really don't. I understand she's ranked 7. I understand she's a great submission specialist. And she's been around for a while. But, oh, man, it's just the Happy Warrior, 37 years old, 23 and 16 record. I don't feel like she should be in the UFC anymore. She does have 4 KO/TKO victories, 5 sub wins, 1 KO loss, 3 sub losses. She usually goes to decision. She's super hittable, super flat-footed. She didn't get any takedowns versus Jennifer Maia, and she shoots desperately when she keeps shooting desperately. Like, if she can't get her first takedown, she's gonna keep trying to get the takedown, but it's just all desperate shots. There's no technique involved in it. She's been around for a fucking while, like I said, man. 37 years old. She just wasn't in the UFC until the last few years. But Macy Barber, man, the future. 8-0 record, 5 KO/TKOs, 2 sub wins. She's on a 4-fight TKO win streak in the UFC, which is insane. It's insane. She crushed Jillian Robertson in her last fight, and yeah, Jillian Robertson's no joke. So that was a really good win to have. She's a ruthless striker. She's definitely the future of that division. I feel like I don't really see too many holes in her game right now. The only hole I see that could happen is if she actually gets hit hard by somebody that punches just as hard as her, and I don't really see too many people in that division doing that. She's well-rounded. Hasn't been put on the ground much because she KOs all of her opponents, and she always looks for the finish, man. She's, like I said, she's fucking ruthless. I like her style. Yeah, so I'm rolling with Macy Barber all the way, dude. I'm going to put her in a few parlays. I'm going to put her in my DraftKings lineup. She's getting the finish in the first round. I feel sorry for Roxanne Modafferi. And if Roxanne gets a submission win, then damn, dude, more power to you, because you'll be the first person to actually beat Macy Barber, and that's a big win to have. But fuck, dude, I just feel like they matched that up just to retire fucking Modafferi. That's just... I don't know. That's just not a good matchup. It's really not. As considering all the people that Macy Barber has already beat previously, like, nah, man. Okay, enough of that. We're going into the main card. Anthony Pettis, Showtime versus Diego Ferreira. Oh man. Anthony Showtime Pettis, dude. This guy's a stud. 22-9 record, 1 KO/TKO. Wins, 7 sub wins, 2 KO/TKO losses, 1 sub loss. They don't call him Showtime for no reason, man. Even when he loses, he's putting on a great show for everybody, for all of his fans. Seems like a humble dude. Seems like a really dope ass fighter, man, and just person in general outside of the ring. Someone I would kick it with for sure. I would have a few drinks with him. That dude seems cool as fuck. Pettis has the full fucking arsenal, though, man. He has everything. Strategic kicking game, very fast striker. He got demolished by Diaz because of the pressure, but all the people that he's fought that have beaten him, it's all because of the pressure. If he doesn't have room to throw his kicks, he doesn't have room to do his flashy movement, room to have all that like foot movement and shit, then he's basically fucked, and that's his kryptonite, is pressure. He doesn't do good against pressure fighters. Poirier, Holloway, Diaz, those were all prime examples. Anthony Pettis needs space. And if he doesn't have space, then it's just not a good matchup for him. He beat Thompson by KO before the Diaz fight. But he was losing. He was losing that fight up until that off the cage fucking punch, hook, whatever it was. It was a great performance on his end. But yeah, Wonderboy was definitely beating him in that fight. But he's fighting Diego Ferreira. Where the fuck is there it is. No, it's not. There it is. Diego Ferreira, 16-2 record, 3 KO/TKOs, 6 sub wins, 1 KO loss, 1 decision loss. 34 years old, man. He's at his prime. What's interesting is he's fighting, He's fighting on his birthday, man, January 18th. He's a Capricorn. That's my birthday, too. So that's cool. The UFC's having this on my birthday as well. I'll be looking forward to that. But yeah, man, that might give him a little bit of an edge, a little bit more of a drive to win as a birthday present for himself to get this dub and get a $50,000 bonus, man, get a knockout or a submission, something crazy. Who knows, man? That could give him that extra drive. He's on a 5-fight win streak. Lost his last fight to Dustin Poirier by KO. That's not a bad loss to have. Did we see what Dustin Poirier does to everybody? That dude's legit. He outworked Tai Sumanov in his last fight, and I picked Merbek, and I knew I shouldn't have picked him. I knew I should have picked Diego Ferreira. I knew more about Ferreira, and I still went against my gut. This guy has good cardio. He's got decent striking. He's big for the division. His body type is just big. He's experienced ground game. Rear naked choke is his best sub, in my own opinion, just because he's won by it a few times. I'm going to roll Diego Ferreira, man. Shit, Capricorn, man. I usually don't pick against Anthony Pettis because I'm such a fan of him. But I'm rolling with Diego Ferreira, man. And happy early birthday to that guy. Hopefully he gets the win. That'll be cool, man. That'll definitely be cool. Next fight, Claudia Gadelha versus Alexa Grasso. Claudia Gadelha, 17-4 record, 2 KO/TKO, 7 sub wins, 4 decision losses. She's smart. She's durable. She's a strategic wrestler. She chain wrestles very well. Decent striking. She does gas out in a lot of her fights, which is kind of interesting because she's a wrestler, and usually you think wrestlers have cardio, good cardio, but she does gas out, and I think it's because her muscle mass. She has a lot of muscle mass. She lost 4 of her last 10 fights. She's kind of flat-footed, somewhat stiff. And it just, like I said, it just could be because of the muscle. She's very muscular for the division. And she's fighting a chick, Alexa Grasso, 11-3 record, 4 KOs/TKOs, 7 decision wins, 1 sub loss. Lost last fight to Carla Esparza, which she should have won that fight. Horrible decision. Horrible, man. It was just horrible decision for them to give that to Carla Esparza, dude. Alexa Grasso for sure won that. She won 2 out of the 3 rounds at least, dude. She's a volume striker. She pressures all of her opponents. She's well-rounded, and she's pretty good with her takedown defense. She's got good head movement. She's not very stiff. She's light on her feet. And she throws nice body and leg kicks. She uses that very well. Always keeps her hands up tight, too. She's a pretty well-rounded fighter. I'm interested to see if Claudia Gadelha can even get Grasso to the ground. I think she will get her to the ground once or twice, and I do think that Claudia will end up gassing out, and Grasso will end up fucking her up. Just with the volume, or maybe even submit her. So I'm rolling with Alexa Grasso on this one. Next fight, Aleksei Oleinik versus Maurice Green. Oh man, this might be an interesting fight, man. This might be actually an interesting fight. The boa constrictor, 42 years old, and he's still fighting, dude. That's insane, dude. I gotta give that guy props. That's ridiculous. 57-13 record. Oh, man, that's a lot of fights. 8 KOs/TKOs, 45 submission wins. I don't think I've ever seen anybody with 45 submission wins on their record. This guy's a serious veteran. Lost his last 2 fights by Walt Harris and Alistair Overeem by KO/TKOs. He's at the end of his career. Everybody knows that. He knows that. Not the best stand-up. He doesn't really have much stand-up. No head movement. Very flat-footed. And he's stiff, but he's lethal on the ground. If he gets you on the ground, whether he's on top or bottom, he's probably going to submit you if you're not experienced. And even if you're experienced, he's probably still going to submit you, dude. This guy has, they call him the boa constrictor, dude. He has a different way of just submitting you, man. He's got grown man strength. 42 fucking years old, man. This guy's got grown man strength, dude. All right, and he's fighting Maurice Green, the crochet boss. I like that nickname too. 8-3 record, 2 KO/TKOs, 4 sub wins, 1 KO loss. Lost his last fight to Sergey Pavlovich by TKO in the first round. I picked Maurice Green to win that. He was a super underdog. I thought I was going to come up with some serious cash in my parlay, and he was the only one who fucked it up for me. So I'm pretty disappointed in Maurice Green. Very tall fighter, 6'7", very new to the UFC. Questionable ground game and cardio. He's got average stand-up. He hasn't shown much. Needs to utilize his range more, in my own opinion. Stick that jab out more. More crosses. But shit, what do I know? I'm not in the UFC. But I'm gonna roll with Aleksei Oleinik on this one. I feel like he'll use that boa constrictor technique and fucking constrict this motherfucker and tap him out. put him to sleep. I kind of hope Alexei Olenek wins this fight. Next fight, Holly Holm, the preacher's daughter, versus, where the fuck, dude? I have all my shit scattered. Okay. Holly Holm, the preacher's daughter, 12-5 record, 8 KO/TKOs, 1 KO loss, 1 sub loss. Lost last fight by head kick to Amanda Nunes, 38 years old. That's not a bad loss to have. We see how good Amanda Nunes. She's the fucking GOAT of the women's division. She's beating bitches in every possible way you can. She's submitting them. She's ground and pounding them. She's using wrestling. She's doing anything that she can. Head kicks, overhand rights. Like, I mean, what else do you want this chick to do, dude? She's done everything that she's done everything. She's literally done everything, dude. Damn near. But yeah, Holly Holm, I feel like she's coming to the end of her career. I feel like she has maybe a year or two left in her. A good year or two left. If she wants to stick around and, like, kind of just be in the UFC, then maybe she has 5 years in her. But if you want to actually win some fucking fights, I could see 1 or 2 more years left in her. Strategic kickboxer. She uses her range very well. She has nasty head kicks and body kicks. She blitzes in on her opponents, sort of like Wonder Boy a little bit with that karate kind of style, even though she's not a karate background, it's kickboxing background. She's got good combos. She lost her last 5 of 10 fights, so she's 50-50 right now. She's ranked number 3 still. Holly Holm she's a fucking beast, dude. I like Holly Holm a lot, and she's fighting another beast, Raquel Pennington, ranked 5. They call her Rocky. 10-7 record, 1 KO/TKO loss, 3 sub wins. One KO win, 3 sub wins, 1 TKO loss, 1 sub loss. She won her last fight by split decision to Irina Aldana. I feel like Irina Aldana probably could have won that fight, but she didn't. She lost viciously to Amanda Nunes, man. It seems like all these chicks are just having Amanda Nunes in their their losing column. Like, every single one of them I see is Amanda Nunes. And she just got outworked by Germaine de Randamie. She's a very tough, gritty fighter. They call her Rocky, dude. Like, she can take punishment. She takes a lot of punishment. I kind of feel bad for her, because if she had just, I don't know, maybe she was more athletic or more strategic in her fighting style, but I mean, maybe that's just, she wants to fight like this. She wants to fight like fucking, like the Rocky movies, and really get into a bloody war. Like, she always does this. She can take, she takes a lot of punishment. She hits hard. She's got good takedowns, top pressure. She's stiff, and she's kind of a one-dimensional fighter. She usually wins by decision, and she hasn't progressed much. Raquel Pennington has not progressed much, in my own opinion. From all the fights that I've seen, she kind of looks like the same fighter. Holly Holm is starting to look like the same fighter as well. But I feel like Holly Holm has more in her arsenal, and I'm rolling with Holly Holm. I'm rolling with the preacher's daughter to get the dub. Next fight, Conor McGregor, the Notorious, ranked 4, welterweight bout, versus Donald Cowboy Cerrone, ranked 5. This is just an insane matchup, dude. Like, I had a feeling these guys were going to end up fighting eventually. Like, they have to, dude. Like, how could they not fight? Especially from that press conference when they were talking shit to each other. Like, oh, man, this is going to be a good fight. 21-4 record. Notorious, 18 KO/TKOs, 1 sub win, 4 sub losses. Lost his last fight to Khabib and Floyd Mayweather in boxing. Big names that he's beaten: Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier, Chad Mendes, Jose Aldo, Nate Diaz, Eddie Alvarez. I mean, everybody already knows this, but yeah. Mendes was coming in on a short note. He came in on 2 weeks' notice or week and a half notice. Max was on short notice. TKO'd Poirier in 2 weeks' notice. Diaz beat him in 2 weeks' notice or a week and a half's notice. Khabib demolished him. Didn't have an answer for it. The first round, he did great with his defense, his wrestling defense, and then after that, he just kind of gassed out, which he always does. If this is going to be a 5-round fight, so I'm interested to see if his cardio is going to hold up, because this isn't the same Conor McGregor that came into the UFC that was just wiry and just fucking nuts. I give Conor his just dues. Definitely give him his just dues. I'm not a big fan of Conor McGregor. I'm not a fan of the antics, but I can't deny that left hand that he has, man. I mean, that's his the left hand from fucking hell, man. This guy, I don't feel like he's the same guy though. He's a strategic counter striker. He's quick in and out, fast twitch movement. but he doesn't have much to offer on the ground unless he's improved in the last few years, and that I don't know of. Donald Cerrone is just super well-rounded, and I just feel like Conor McGregor is way overhyped. He's been way overhyped. They hyped him up from the very get-go, man. Yeah, that's been my opinion since day one. Is Conor McGregor's just, they hyped him up, man, because if you look at all the people that he's fought, yes, don't get me wrong, he's fought in some great fighters. Eddie Alvarez at the end of his career, Chad Mendes at the end of his career, Max Holloway just starting, Dustin Poirier just starting. He's getting people that are just starting that are newbies, or he's getting people that are already old. They're already retiring. Like, I mean, and even Nate Diaz, he kind of got Nate Diaz kind of at the end of his career. I mean, when you think of it, Khabib is really the only one that's in his, like, just in that phase where it's just, you're not going to beat him. Like, he hasn't been beaten yet. So, I mean, Khabib, we got to see who Conor McGregor really is in the Khabib fight. And I feel like we can see a lot more of that, who Conor McGregor really is in this next fight. But the only thing is he's fighting another guy who's already old. Donald Cerrone is already old. I love Donald Cerrone, don't get me wrong. But Donald Cerrone's coming to the end of his career. Yes, Donald Cerrone can beat guys that are so-so. But can he beat somebody that's actually really good with his striking? Like Conor McGregor. But Cowboy's 36-13 record, 10 KO/TKO, 17 sub wins, 6 KO/TKO losses, one sub loss. He's a veteran in the sport. He's on a 2-fight losing streak to Justin Gaethje and Tony Ferguson, and that was just too much pressure. When people pressure Donald Cerrone, he doesn't do good with that as well. And he's a very slow starter. He's getting better on it, but he's a slow starter. The big names that he's lost to: Leon Edwards, Darren Till, Robbie Lawler, George Masvidal, Rafael Dos Santos. He was on a 3-fight win streak before the Ferguson fight. He's a well-rounded fighter. He's got great combos, lethal kicks, tricky submission game, questionable chin and body. I mean, I don't know if it's because of that accident that he had, and he had to get the surgery on his stomach a while back. I'm not really sure too much about that. But he has that scar on his stomach, and I think it's from bull riding. He had surgery years ago, and I feel like that plays a key factor. I feel like his stomach, his abdomen, all that area is kind of weak. He's got that scar tissue under there. I feel like if you hit him in the body a little, like Darren Till did, which Conor McGregor is gonna kick him in the body with the oblique kicks, the front kicks. He's gonna kick him. He's gonna do something to the body. Conor McGregor, he's not stupid. I just don't feel like he's as good as people say he is. In this one, I haven't picked yet. I haven't picked who I want to win. It's a really tough fight for me to pick. I put a question mark by it because the fan in me wants me to pick Cowboy Cerrone, but something's also telling me that Conor McGregor might steal the show and win this shit. Because if he kicks Donald Cerrone to the body, or if he hits him to the body with a big left hand, anything, Cerrone might be done, man. I feel like his body's kind of weak, and yeah, man, I'm just rambling on right now. I'm excited about this fight. But yeah, Conor McGregor is more hyped than anything. I'm going to roll with Donald Cerrone on this one. I got to pick against Conor McGregor, man. I'm just not a fan of this guy. And like I said earlier, it's probably not smart to pick people that you're just fans of, and then people that you're not fans of, pick against them. It's stupid. If you want to win money, you pick the better fighter. But in my own opinion, Donald Cerrone is well-rounded. He's a better fighter. He's just old. If Donald Cerrone was a little younger, I don't know. Actually, I take that back. I do know. I would for sure pick Donald Cerrone. I'm picking him right now, but I would for sure pick Donald Cerrone if he was younger. But something's telling me that he's coming to the end. Anyways, hopefully I rambled on a lot in this video. I've been trying to make my videos 20 to 25 minutes instead of 30. I rambled on a lot in this video. Like, subscribe, comment. I'm going to put some info on the competition I'm going to be having once I reach 50 subscribers on my YouTube channel, and it's going to be a giveaway. So yeah, you guys stay tuned. All right, enjoy the fights that will be coming up. Happy New Year's, everybody.